Assalamualaikum and a very good day. My name is Amirah Syafiah binti YAHYA, and today I'll be presenting a case review for INC500, Industrial Relation Regulation and Cybersecurity. The case that I've chosen is Muhammad Afiq bin Jalil versus Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad and ANOR 2022 MLJU 1010. First, let me give a brief overview of the case. This is a judicial review application filed by the employee, Muhammad Afiq. He challenged the industrial court's decision, which had upheld dismissal by Bank Islam. So basically, Afiq wanted the High Court to quash the industrial court's ruling. And next, we have applicant's dismissal. Afiq was dismissed on 3rd June 2019. He had been working with Bank Islam since 2015 and was earning around 2,358 monthly. This dismissal was due to two allegations, which is insubordination and abusive language. The third one is alleged misconduct. The first allegation was insubordination. Afiq refused repeated instructions from his branch manager to open up a non-cash counter during a busy day at the branch. The second allegation was abusive language, where he shouted "Kau apa hal" at his manager, and this was heard by staff and customers. And lastly, we have investigation and outcomes. Witnesses confirmed hearing Afiq shouting, but nobody heard the manager threatening him as he claimed. After an internal investigation, Afiq was suspended and later faced a domestic inquiry, which found him guilty of misconduct. Moving on to the next slide, which is issues. In this case, several issues were raised. For number one, whether the dismissal was with just cause and excuse. Number two, whether the industrial court acted within its jurisdiction. Number three, whether refusing to open the counter amounted to insubordination. Number four, whether Afiq was actually provoked as he claimed. Number five, whether due process was followed at the domestic inquiry. Number six, whether reinstatement should be granted. And last but not least, whether the Industrial Relations Act 1967 was applied correctly. So these issues guided the court's analysis. And next, we have judgment. There are three judgments, which is gross misconduct, insubordination, abusive language, and also no provocation evidence. For gross misconduct, the court affirmed that Afiq's refusal to obey instructions was not a small issue. It was repeated, deliberate, and took place in front of customers. This amounted to gross misconduct. The next one is insubordination and abusive language. The High Court highlighted that Afiq's behavior, which is refusing instructions and shouting at his superior, went to the root of the employment relationship. A superior's lawful and reasonable instructions must be followed in a workplace settings. For no provocation evidence, Afiq claimed he yelled because he was threatened, but this defense was not supported by any witness, so the court rejected his provocation arguments. For the next slide, which is analysis and critique, from an industrial relations perspective, the decision supports an employer rights to maintain disciplines and ensure employees follow lawful instructions. In terms of legal compliance, Bank Islam conducted a proper investigation, held a domestic inquiry, and allowed representation, which aligns with natural justice. And in terms of the industrial court's role, the court balanced both employer and employee rights, focusing on fairness and workplace harmony. So in conclusion, this case reinforced an important principle in employment law. Employees must obey lawful and reasonable orders and must maintain professionalism at all times. If misconduct is proven and procedures are followed correctly, employers are justified in dismissing the employee for just cause. Therefore, the High Court dismissed Afiq's judicial review application. And next, we have references. These are the references used to support this presentation, including legal articles, the Industrial Relations Act, and resources on misconduct handling. So that's all from me. Thank you.